Okay, so a topic in math that we should know, or a skill we should know, is how to multiply by the reciprocal. So the first thing I wrote down here is, what is a reciprocal? And essentially it is a fraction that gets flipped. I know that's not too technical, but that is what it is. So for instance, if you had the fraction 2 over 3, the reciprocal of that fraction would be 3 over 2. If you had a fraction of 5 over 6, it would become 6 over 5. Now, even a number by itself can have a reciprocal. So if you had a number, just say it was, just keep it simple, just 2, to multiply that, or sorry, to just do that in a reciprocal, any number that's alone, we can put it over 1 because we haven't changed anything, right? 2 divided by 1 is still 2. So then to get the reciprocal of just 2, it becomes 1 over 2. So that's all this first part showing, is that a reciprocal is you're flipping it. The denominator becomes numerator, your numerator becomes the denominator. So what does it mean to multiply by your reciprocal? So to multiply by your reciprocal, for instance, if you had 2 over 3, you would multiply by, flip your fraction, 3 over 2. And then if you're multiplying, you multiply across the top, multiply across the bottom, and you'll get 6 over 6, which equals 1. And that's another point about multiplying by your reciprocal. Your product should always be 1. So taking a look at the next one, if we wanted to try, say 3 over 4, multiply by 4 over 3 would be the reciprocal, and you would get 12 over 12, right? Multiply across the top, multiply across the bottom, which reduces to 1. And then like what we showed, if you have a number alone, so say we had 6, we would want to make that into a fraction first by putting it over 1, and then multiply by 1 over 6. And now we'd get 6 over 6, and your product would still just be 1. Now, lastly, if you had a negative fraction, so say you had negative 2 over 3, and you want to multiply by the reciprocal. So your negative applies to the fraction, but when you do this, you have to keep it with either the top or the bottom. So I'm just going to keep it with the top because it looks like I wrote it with the top. So then if I multiply by the reciprocal, it'd be 3 over negative 2. And we would get negative 6 over negative 6, which will still reduce to 1. So if I wanted just one more, and I just didn't make it as obvious, negative, say, 1/2. Again, that negative has to be with either the top or the bottom. I tend just to keep it with the top. So I'm going to multiply with, so I'm going to say the negative belongs with the top. So I'll multiply by 2 over negative 1. We'll get negative 2 over negative 2, and that will still equal 1. As always, I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please subscribe. And if there's any other video I can do for you, just let me know. Thank you for watching.